Hello friends, my name is James Hopkins, and as always I'm joined by my good friends Brian Castiglione and Anthony Alessino, as well as my younger brother, Jack Hopkins. On this show we're all about parlays, overs, unders, spreads, and money lines. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Parlay-Vous.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful, beautiful, fantastic episode of the Parlay-Vous podcast. Little two-man game pick and roll show today. Me and Mr. Jack Hopkins. Brian's not around. It's the babysitter nephew tonight, and it's all good. As we will probably proceed to do, probably next week we'll reconfigure segments, move some shit around. We're gonna talk some New York Knickerbockers.
Can I go first?
You sure can.
All right, it's. Where do I start? Give me a place to start.
Can I just start with one thing?
Sure, pitch it over here. Let's see it.
29 teams in the NBA wouldn't have beaten Boston last night.
29 teams in the NBA haven't played yet.
There's not a team in the NBA that would have beaten Boston last night. They were shooting the cover off of the basket.
So, the Boston Celtics tied the record for most three-pointers ever made in a game. And that being said, defensively, as a defensive-minded team under the head coach of
Doug Dimmadome. Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. I took the one that was sealed, by the way.
Well, you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes. Just like fucking Thibodeau trading away Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. But you know what?
We're there already?
We're there already, dude. Okay. Subtraction by addition. I will continue on my defensive front.
Go ahead.
First of all, the number 4, you know how to pronounce his name. I don't remember his name. Diade.
French fucker.
A rotational guard. What is he, about 6'6", something like that?
Yeah.
Can play swing forward.
Shoot the ball a little bit.
He can shoot a little bit. It's great. Developmental player. What have the Knicks always been good at? Developmental players, and that's where I'm going to move to Deuce McBride, who fucking lit it up coming off the bench as the sixth man. You know what? It wasn't JR, but it did feel a little JR-ish. A little guy just coming off the bench. Maybe a flash in the pan, maybe not. I hope that Deuce McBride is going to be, if he doesn't earn a starting spot at some point, if Michael Bridges can't shoot. Obviously, he's supposed to come off the bench as a small guard, I understand. But his defensive prowess is much more significant than Jalen Brunson's.
Yeah, probably, but that's why Josh Hart's out there. I think you need to pop a Deuce McBride scoring off the bench, personally. And I'll say this about Mikal Bridges. I don't know why they decided to change his jump shot, what's going on. It looks dumb. It looks like he's trying to get a higher release point on the ball. And as a result of that, when he's shooting threes, he's like yanking the ball back further to get more power. But I'll say this about Mikal. That first half was probably the worst half of basketball we'll see from him this year. Second half, 7 of 8. 16 points. He played better in the second half. The game was out of hand at that point, but shot making is shot making.
Of course. First of all, here's my whole point with the jump shot. Made the most corner threes in the entire NBA last year, 160.
Last 6 seasons,
he's made the most corner threes in the entire league. He's a 38% career three-point shooter. Why the fuck are we changing? Sorry, I had to peek the mic there to get my point across. But why are we changing something? Don't fix something if it ain't broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's already a defensive monster.
I don't understand any of it. I don't understand why they had to fuck with Chad Holmgren's jump shot. Have you seen his jump shot?
Yeah, I'll probably see it at some point tonight.
He pulls his guide hand off before he releases the ball. I don't know why.
I don't know why we're adjusting jump shots of players who are efficient shooters, which is another problem in its own because everybody thinks they're the best fucking shooter in the world, especially these shooting coaches, because what's the most common thing inside of basketball players in general, especially shooters in basketball? What is the most pronounced quality they have on a basketball court?
Consistency?
No.
What?
Irrational confidence.
Oh, yeah, irrational
Every
confidence.
shooter is irrationally confident in what they do because if you're not going to be a good shooter. That's not how it works, especially in this sport. In my own playing time, not even just as basketball as a sport in a whole, if you are not confident in what you're doing, you're not going to get the ball, you're not going to score the ball, you're not going to touch it. You're going to be playing a whole lot of defense, you're going to be doing a whole lot of rebounding.
A lot of pin downs.
Exactly. You're going to be doing a whole lot of off the ball, you're going to be helping me out so I can score, and then, I'll give you a good pat on the back. But that's the thing. Irrational confidence shooting is part of the whole gimmick of being a shooter in the NBA. There are guys who have the fucking Konami code tatted on their fucking shooting arms. Unlimited ammo, dude.
Mm-hmm.
People talk that talk and walk that walk. If you're going to change your jump shot, if you're going to fuck around with your own mechanics, how are you going to be regularly confident in your own jump shot if you're trying to fuck it all up? You know what I'm saying? It's a bad practice inside the NBA. It's a bad practice in the offseason, and it leads to shooters being worse off.
And it looks broken right now. Mikal Bridges' jump shot looks broken, and I don't know what's going on with it. But, like, the thing with shooting, like, everyone wants to compare shooting to, like, a golf swing or, like, a baseball swing, and, like, how, you know, beef. There was the whole Dwayne Wade beef commercial back in the day. Balance eyes, elbow, follow through, and, like, keep your elbow high and tight. And everyone's got all these ideas on what the picture-perfect launch point should look like, right? Sean Marion's jump shot looked like fucking dog shit. Guess what? It went in. He was a sub 40% three-point
Bill Cartwright was the ugliest shooting form ever of all time, and he could make his fucking free throws because of the way he shot.
Steph Curry's jump shot is gross, and it looks like shit.
It looks like a push.
And coming out of college, that was a big thing that people were against him for. And guess what? He's the greatest shooter of all time. So, like, if it works, it works. Like, and then I saw on Twitter they're comparing Mikal Bridges to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and I was
going to say,
don't do that.
Again, MKG.
Yeah, but he wasn't a good shooter, though. He wasn't a good shooter.
I understand.
And his shit was ugly as fuck. But, like, my point is that there are plenty of shooters that are good shooters that who their jump shot looks ugly to some people.
Trae Young's jump shot's fucking disgusting.
Trae Young's another pusher.
I've never liked that style of shooting, but...
Well, that's how kids learn how to shoot because they're not strong enough to put the ball over their head yet. And
point proven. That's all that needs to be said. But please continue. We were talking about Mikal.
The jump shot looks broken right now, but then I watched the second half, and the form is the same, and they're all going in. And my point is with Mikal is that I believe that first half against Boston is probably as bad as it's going to get for him the rest of the way. And like I said, Boston shooting the cover off of the fucking ball. Tatum, Superman out there last night. Jaylen Brown, Superman out there last night. And I can live with it. What I can't live with is how many of those 28 three-pointers came off of second chance points. I don't know what the second chance point statistics were, but it seemingly felt like every time the Knicks got a stop, 1 offensive rebound, 2 offensive rebounds.
They're missing rebounding.
3 offensive rebounds, and then the ball gets kicked back out, and fucking Derek White. Look, if Derek White is going to make 4 threes, and Jason Tatum's going to make 6 threes, and fucking Sam Hauser's going to hit threes, and Peyton Pritchard's going to hit threes,
and Jaylen Brown's going to hit
Horford's going to hit threes, and everyone's going to make every fucking shot in the world, and you're not going to get an offensive rebound, you're not going to win the fucking game. The Knicks, the calling card of this Knicks roster the last 2 seasons was offensive rebounding. Their calling card was offensive rebounding, and guess what? Ihart's gone. Mitch isn't around. Mitch is gone for like 2 months or something. They need another big. If Jericho Sims is going to play softer than Sharman out there, get him off the fucking floor. I don't care. Go to fucking Europe and find the best 7-footer in EuroLeague and sign that motherfucker. I don't care what we got to do. We've got to get better at rebounding the ball. Because guess how the Boston Celtics won the championship last year?
Rebounding.
No, yes, defense. But no. Defense. They didn't win an NBA title from shooting the cover off of the ball. Yes, they did lead the league in three-pointers made, three-pointers attempted. I think they were second in three-point percentage. They led the league or top 2 or 1 in every three-point shooting statistic last year. But that is not what won them a title. What won them a title was their ability to play defense and their offensive rebounding.
They have one of the best defensive backcourts in the NBA.
That's fine. Offense was not the problem last night.
I said defense. Defense.
I know. The Knicks' offense was not the problem last night. So when you're playing a team whose biggest strength is their defense, and you still shoot damn near 60% from the floor, at least through halftime, they were 59% from the floor, down by fucking 20. You cannot play a team whose calling card is defense and offensive rebounding, shoot 60% in the first half, and be nowhere near striking distance. That's a problem. If the shots weren't falling and the offense looks like Alessino and Big White are both, it's the first game, it's a new team, it's going to take a while for them to gel. Yeah, fine. But the offense looked great. I had 0 qualms with the way the offense played through 3 quarters. 0 problems with it. What the problems I do have is fucking rotations need to be figured out, because talk about those offensive rebounds. It's hard to get a defensive rebound when two guys rotate to the same shooter and there's no one in the paint. The Celtics were fighting themselves for offensive rebounds at a certain point.
In terms of positioning, the Knicks' defensive positioning was not terrible. They were swinging to which side the ball needed to be on. They were where they needed to be.
The rotations were my problem. Two guys early in that game. I watched the whole game. Every minute of that game, even the fourth quarter when it was all but over, I watched every fucking minute of that game. Early in the game, they, good offensive action, get the guy swing, get the ball, shots going up. Two separate guys from two different spots on the floor close out on the same guy. Now we have 3 Celtics in the paint and 1 Knick in the paint. Shit like that can't happen. Offensively, I don't have a problem with DiVincenzo and Randall being gone. I really don't. Karl-Anthony Towns played well offensively. I'd like to see him get a little bit more aggressive, but if Boston will play you 4 more times this year, I think, 3 or 4 more times we'll see Boston. If they keep putting Drew Holiday on Karl-Anthony Towns, get everybody the fuck out. A 6'4" guard cannot guard a 7-footer who is that good at offense. And when Cat did get the ball, a lot of the times he was posting up and he was getting good looks and baskets at the rim. But if we want to keep going matchup hunting and then have Jalen Brunson driving on fucking Al Horford, fuck that. I understand you can probably easily get around an aging Al Horford. That's fine. We have a 7-footer, one of the best offensive centers in the NBA, young, playing against 6'4" and 6'5" guards down in the paint. Clear the fuck out, give Cat the ball in the post, and let him go to work. Because when he did go to work on the guards, he cooked them every time. But, like I said, I have very few problems with the way the offense played. The shots were going in. They were making shots. Other than Mikal Bridges, who was not making shots at all in the first half. Other than that, they were making good shots. What I cannot do for the rest of the season is campaign taking fucking 27-foot three-pointers 4 seconds into the shot clock down by 16. That shit I can't do all year.
All right. All good?
Yeah. It's 1 out of 82. 81 games remaining. I still believe this is a top 3 team in the NBA. I'm not going to overreact. But
so, just by the eye test alone, there's 0 dog in that room now. There's no dog. There's Jalen Brunson, there's Josh Hart, there's fucking Deuce McBride, and then it's fucking Dustin Echoes, dude. Maybe OG. And OG didn't even shoot well. OG did not have a good game offensively. We'll start with the defense, though. Even though I'm on offense, we'll start with the defense because I'm remembering what you said about defensively rotating. If you have guys who are leaders in tipped passes, leaders in on-ball defensive percentage and shot percentage and effective field goal percentage, and those guys are not having a good game, then those guys need to be moved. Because defense does not get better as the game goes on. It's a storied fact. You can see it in any basketball game played. Defense does not get better. It only gets worse. It's for any sport because fatigue exists. If guys who are the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, long, lanky, 7-foot wingspans, good, decent shooters on the outside, can somewhat make plays. If they're not good on defense, what is your offense worth to me if I can't get a stop? What is the one thing the Knicks did not do on defense? Get a stop. Oh, you're shooting the lights out.
Not even stops.
Make a point to stop a shot from going in.
They were getting the stops. They weren't getting the rebounds.
There's no stops. 20 fucking points, Jim, in every fucking quarter. 20 points is not acceptable for a Thibodeau coach team. That is not defense.
Through 3 quarters, do you know how many points the Celtics had inside of the 3-point line? 33.
Oh, and how many did they have outside?
An unreal amount because they shot the shit out of the ball. But I would love to see it. I can't pull it up. Can you do me a favor and see what was the pull up a fucking box score on the score from last night? See if they have second chance points, because I guarantee you that's damn near 30 or 40 second chance points. They were getting stops in key moments, and at the start of the third quarter they got a couple of stops, and they fucking were able to cut it to almost 10. And then all of a sudden, offensive rebound, kick out, 3. Offensive rebound, kick out, 3.
Giving me team stats. Here we go. Okay. Field goals. 43 of 78 for the Knicks, 48 of 95 for the Celtics. Field goal percentage. Knicks shot a higher field goal percentage, 55%. Three-pointers. 11 of 30 for the Knicks, 29 of 61. They shot double the three-pointers of the Knicks. Three-point percentage, 36% for the Knicks, 47% for the Celtics. Freak shooting night, understood. Total rebounds, 34 to 40. Relatively easy. 6 rebounds that were offensive rebounds was the difference. Offensive rebounding, 5 to 11. Doubled. Defensive rebounding, dead even, 29 to 29. You were out-rebounded by 6 rebounds, and that was the difference in the game.
Is second chance points there?
I don't have any second chance points, but points in the paint I have 42 to 30, and that's as much as we can get from Safari here.
I'd love to know. Whatever, it's irrelevant. When Tatum's draped the fuck up and he just shoots one and it doesn't even touch rim at all, it's gonna be one of those nights, you know. They made a lot of shots where they were guarded pretty well and the ball just went in.
It's unacceptable. For the Boston Celtics, a rival inside of your own conference, which people think the East is much harder than the West. And I would agree. I would say the East is much more strongly built than the West at the moment. Your rival, the person you are competing with, this is an Eastern Conference Finals matchup. It is game 1. There's one thing you have to do, and that's set the tone. You know what set the tone for me? Karl-Anthony Towns ain't really demanding the ball, ain't a dog. Michael Bridges' shots fucked up. How the fuck am I supposed to rely on him the rest of the year if he can barely shoot a decent percentage? If that's the story. Now, I'm not saying it is. God willing, I hope it's not. OG, again, another horrible shooting night. Oh, we're missing Mitch Robb. We're missing Precious Achiuwa, who is a massive rebounder for that Knicks team, whether you like it or not.
They're missing the bigs, dude.
It is unacceptable. And you come down in a situation like this. Can't get a stop. The team on the other team is shooting the lights out. And my guy, I just fucking traded the bag for, supposedly, isn't demanding the ball in the post against Drew Holiday, a 6'4", 6'5" guard, against other guards who were switching on to him. That's not enough, dude. You know what Julius would have said, bro? Give me that. Paul, right here. You know what Dante would have did, dude? He would have fucking went for it.
Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo are no longer New York Knicks, and therefore I do not care. We just spent 2 years saying Julius Randle needed to get the fuck out of town. I'm not going to turn on it right away. I'm not going to do that. I will miss Dante DiVincenzo's big-time shot making. I will miss nothing that Julius Randle does. And by Christmas, by the trade, by February, by the All-Star break, you're going to be crazy if you think we're still wishing we had Julius Randle instead of Karl-Anthony Towns. That's my opinion on that.
In a game where you need to set the tone, where you're going to see them 3 more times a year, if that team does not come out and annihilate teams, not fucking beat teams, annihilate. You are a top 5 team in this league. You are built to beat the defending champions. You are coached by not only a controversial coach, but a defensive sound, decent coach that brought the Knicks from, what were they before they got to the 4th seed? Barely inside the lottery. Dog shit. And now, you got to be a winner. You got to figure it out. Jalen Brunson's a winner. Josh Hart's a winner. Mikal Bridges is supposedly a winner. Karl-Anthony Towns is supposedly a winner. All won in college, I'm pretty sure, no?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a lot of fucking winning tendencies from a bunch of guys that we just traded for and added over the offseason.
It was one game against the defending NBA champions on their ring ceremony night, on opening night, who, by the way, do you know what their record was in TD Garden last season?
42 and, like...
They don't play 42 home games.
No.
They
were 42-7 by, like, the All-Star break. Sorry. 39-2?
37-4.
37-4.
They're a tough team. It's one game. There's 81 left. On to the next one.
I am nothing but unmotivated to see what the Knicks bring now.
Also,
Jalen Brunson's going to be my hero. You know, Foo Fighters, season. Dude? There goes my hero.
There goes my cuckoo.
Captain! Jalen Brunson, born to play basketball and save the New York Knicks. Let's move on, please. I've had enough.
It's a long season. It's a long season. 81 games left. We're not going to overreact. It's still New York forever. Giants played the Eagles this weekend, got absolutely fucking decimated. Saquon Barkley ran all over the yard, was 13 yards short of his career single game high. Sirianni asked him, he said, "You're 13 yards short of your game high. Do you want to go back out there and try to get it?" He said, "No, I'd rather see the young guys eat." Giants, it's just now Andrew Thomas is hurt. I don't know how hurt he is, but he'll be out. Evan Neal isn't playing. The offensive line is an abomination. Who knows what's up with Daniel Jones? We weren't expecting much from this team really going forward throughout the rest of this year anyway. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be some tough football. Look, this Sunday was a tough week for at least half of, if not slightly more than half of New York sports fans, because Sunday night, the Mets obviously get eliminated in Game 6, I believe, of the NLCS
Jets got obliterated
against the LA Dodgers.
National television.
Giants got smashed by Philly, which pretty much put the nail in the coffin on their season. Is she
Are we
kidding me?
fucking serious
Can you
right now?
shut the door?
Yeah, hold on.
Jesus Christ, lady. Can you text somebody and get that addressed? Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know we're down here recording a show, and you're just killing me. Jets come out on Sunday Night Football. First game with Devontae Adams. We got to play Mr. Unlimited. Unlimited. And they come out there like a team with no fire, like the season's not on the line, like shit isn't important. Flat, not excited. They're playing like they're walking on eggshells. They come out and it's good. It's looking good early. They're playing well. And all of a sudden, Rodgers throws a couple of interceptions. The one bounces right off. It hit Garrett Wilson in the chest. It should have been a first down. There's a picture of the ball in his chest and the defender who caught it 3 yards behind him. He doesn't catch the ball. It gets picked off. And this team is just not responding to adversity well, like, at all. The minute things start to go downhill, they want to pack it in. They are not excited to play football. They're not excited to play for each other. I think they are poorly coached, like I've been saying. They are poorly coached. They're undisciplined. And just honestly, flat out, not very good at football right now. The Jets are not very good at football. This Aaron Rodgers is not the Aaron Rodgers that I've watched play football over the last 20 years. It's not. There's something different about him, and it's not the Achilles. It's not fucking being 41 years old. There's no conviction. If Aaron Rodgers is not throwing a check down or a ball to the perimeter somewhere, he's throwing the ball with no conviction over the middle. He's seeing guys or not seeing guys, not making the throw for whatever reason. It's not all the time because he doesn't have the time with the offensive line. It's not because guys aren't open. For whatever reason it is, he is not throwing the ball between the numbers with any sort of confidence or conviction right now. And I think this team needs to do a lot of soul searching because 2-5, a lot of people think, oh, it's over, we're done. That's not necessarily the case. The Jets started this season with, I think, one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. Going forward, it is the easiest schedule the rest of the way. There is a very, very real possibility that they can go fucking, I forget how many, 7 games through, right? So they could go 8-2 the rest of the way and get in at 10-6 or 10-7. For sure, absolutely, but they need to get it going. You have to come through, statement win against New England this week. Then next week on Halloween night on Thursday Night Football, Houston Texans need to get past them because they still got to play Miami twice. Who knows what's up when Tua gets back? And you got to go through Buffalo again. So you cannot afford any more silly losses, any more whoopsie-poopsies, oopsie-doopsies, look at me. I threw an interception, but it wasn't really my fault, yada, yada, yada. It's not over yet, but it's looking bleak. And I don't want to start talking about next year already, but my opinion on the matter is everyone should get fired except maybe Joe Douglas. We run this back one more time. And after that, Jordan Travis and whatever the fuck. I don't want to talk about 2 years down the line from now. But right now, I'm just saying it's not over yet. Let me remind you guys, and you, I don't know if you know this, you know the last time the Jets won the AFC East? You know what their record was through 7 games? 2-5. It's not completely, I'm not saying they're going to win the division. Don't get me wrong there. But the possibility of them turning this around, still getting in the playoffs, is not over. The talent is there. The players are there. There's no injuries to Aaron Rodgers. We have all of our weapons on offense. This offensive line was supposedly upgraded. Nothing's wrong besides the fact that they're not executing on the football field. So, I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet, but it's looking bleak. And then this is the last thing I'll say, and I've been saying this, and you know, if you watch this show regularly, you know that I fucking never stop defending Zach Wilson. You know what the Jets' record was through 7 games last year?
4-3.
4-3. You know how many interceptions Zach Wilson threw all year last year?
7.
You know how many interceptions Zach Wilson threw all year the year before that?
13.
7.
Hmm.
You know how many Rodgers interceptions there have been already?
7.
7. Maybe, just maybe, we weren't just a quarterback away. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't Zach Wilson's fault. Maybe Zach Wilson isn't trash. Maybe we fucking let Zach Wilson down, not the other way around. Maybe Zach Wilson had a little bit of a leg to stand on when he made that comment in the press conference 2 years ago that ultimately got him benched, by the way. Because let's remember what happened there. There was a fucking players and coaches meeting that went on, or a captain's meeting with the coaches that went on, right, 2 years ago. And then we decide, not only do we decide that Mike White is going to get the start the next week, but all of the players and stars on the team are going to fucking get custom t-shirts made of Mike White and wear them all on national media on their way to the football game and just completely destroy whatever was left of Zach Wilson's confidence for a camp arm. So maybe, just maybe, it starts at the top with Woody and Joe D and Robert Saleh, who's apparently an employee of the Green Bay Packers now. Was seen at practice today. Matt LaFleur said that he's helping work with the offense. Whatever. This is not a quarterback problem. This is not a defensive line problem. This is not a we need Devontae Adams problem. This isn't even a we need Hassan Reddick out there now problem. This is an organizational New York Jets problem. And at this point, I don't know what else there is to say about the matter. We tried the bridge quarterback with Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2015. It didn't work. We tried drafting a blue chip prospect in the top 5 in Sam Darnold. It didn't work. We tried that again with Zach Wilson, 2nd overall in 2021, and it didn't work. Now we tried aging Hall of Fame quarterback, Super Bowl winner Aaron Rodgers, and it's not working. I don't know what else there is to say. I don't know what else there is to try. I'll tell you this, the next coach needs to be a young offensive mind. If this thing doesn't turn around and they don't win one playoff game, Ulbrich cannot come back. And maybe I wouldn't fire Joe Douglas personally. Yeah, he's made some blunders. He's made some really good moves too. And he's been put in a position by Woody Johnson to be in this win now mode and to be in this fucking it's all or nothing this year. I don't think Joe Douglas was the one who wanted to go for broke on Aaron Rodgers. I think that was a Woody Johnson move. Because Woody Johnson has been, will continue to be, will always be, as long as he owns the New York Jets, more concerned about what's going on the back page of the New York Post in fucking June than he is about playing football in February. So I'm running out of what the answers are, but I'm not willing to pack it in before Halloween on a team that has Hall of Fame quarterback, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, potentially Hall of Fame players on defense. I'm not willing to just mail it in yet on them, but you lose to New England this week and it's over.
I got nothing for the Jets. I don't even want to reiterate what I've said in the past 2 weeks because it still rings true. So I don't want to talk about the Jets. I'm going to talk about the Giants instead because the top part of our Triforce, if you will, our brother Phil, brought to my attention something very interesting. Very, very interesting. Little Matty Stafford for DJ.
Me and Phil talked about this too.
So I thought about it, and the situation almost lines up perfectly in terms of Matthew Stafford becoming a bridge quarterback for the Jets. No, not the Jets, the Giants. In contrary, the Rams get Daniel Jones, who has shown greatness and shown absolute dog shit. Who is Daniel Jones similar to?
Jared Goff. Or Josh Allen. Either way.
Why wouldn't you try and flip the script? Because now we're talking about trading Cooper Kupp. We don't know if Stafford can get it done. Puka Nakua's on the IR. We got X, Y, and Z happening. We got Kyron Williams running 20 carries a game, but then we just drafted Blake Corum with whatever, the second round or a third round pick?
I think second round.
The second round pick.
That's the hard. No, Blake Corum's on the Rams?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
A second round pick on a running back that, that second round pick could have been seen on the defense, where the defense is now starting to struggle, especially with some aging guys in there. Talking about, was it Leonard Floyd? Is that his name? Leonard Floyd the fourth?
Yeah, Leonard Floyd. And that bum the bum that played for the Bills is over there now. The corner.
Not Micah Parsons. Not Micah Hyde.
No,
Maybe?
the corner. The like two bad injuries back. Trey White.
Okay.
Trey White's out there playing fucking Matador defense.
It makes sense in terms, especially for the Giants, who I believe they retained their first round pick this year.
Giants have the correct, yeah.
And what's their record right now?
It's 2-5.
2-5. Okay, so what? You're looking at a top 15 pick. You're looking at a healthy, for the first time in a while, a healthy quarterback class. You got Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward. Is Raiola a senior?
Raiola is a true freshman.
True freshman, sorry.
You got Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers. You've got Carson Beck out of Georgia, who I personally don't believe in. Jackson Dart out of Mississippi, who I like. And Shadur Sanders.
You got 5 quarterbacks.
5 quarterbacks. I'd say probably 4 of them are going in the first round, and one guy winds up going in the late 30s, similar to the 2018 draft class.
I see an opportunity where this can definitely pan out. And I don't think this is a now move. I think this is a deadline move, because if the Rams are ready to mail it in
next week.
Next week.
The 5th.
Wow, we're coming in on the deadline. It's getting spicy, huh?
These guys are killing me, dude. Whatever, leave it alone. I don't even care.
I sent a text, but I guess they wrote me off when I didn't write back. So that being said, I think the Giants can make that move, and I think it's definitely a doable one. I think they got to figure out what they have inside of the team. I think they got to figure out what they have in Daniel Jones, because you know what you got in Matt Stafford. You know what's going to happen.
I like the move from a Giants perspective. I think it makes sense if you're the Rams to try to kind of move on. I don't know if Matt Stafford is really into all of that, you know? We're talking about a guy who's, 36 now, 37? He's in year 14, year 15 in the league. Would you really want to move your whole family again, come to Jersey and play for the Giants for a couple of years for a team that probably isn't going to win anything? Now, I think Stafford could elevate that roster. I think that they could compete for sure in the NFC and maybe get a wild card spot. But I just don't know if that makes sense if you're Matt Stafford. That's the only problem here. How much more does Matt Stafford want to do?
Realistically, it isn't, because it's not his decision.
Yeah, but he can just say, I'm going to retire.
And that's on the Giants.
Yeah, but that's my only issue there.
You got to make the pitch.
If Stafford wants to come, if Stafford is into it, then I would absolutely make that trade for sure. And if you really, the Giants aren't a team that's in a go-for-broke situation, but if you're a team that's in a go-for-broke situation, I would try to get Kupp and Stafford and just make a run.
I was going to say, you give up 2 fucking receivers, you give them the picks that they need. Obviously not the pick this year. You give them what they need. You get Stafford, you get Kupp, and then what? Maybe cash considerations or a pick.
Maybe they pay some of Kupp's contract or something. I don't know.
It's a doable deal. It's not an out there thought.
It'd be a weird one. It's a weird NFL trade. You
It
don't
would
often see trades like that.
For quarterback, but guess
Not
what?
even quarterback for quarterback. Like quarterback and receiver from one team get traded to another in one deal. Is what I'm saying with Kupp.
It's an interesting situation.
That's like a fantasy football Madden kind of a thing.
I feel like that's a trade you would do with Madden.
Yeah, Madden absolutely one. It's a fucking game. Nothing matters. But yeah, it's a weird one in the NFL. I know the last couple of years trading in the NFL has gotten way more exciting. part of that has to do with the rookie wage scale because the draft picks don't need, it's easier to move draft picks and whatnot.
Well, things are definitely heating up, especially with trade rumors going.
So let's get into this.
Well, apparently the Broncos are fielding calls on Courtland Sutton.
Really? Well, we had a deflated Tennessee Titans team. They come into the week on Sunday. It's already not looking well. Mid-Saturday afternoon, it gets announced that Will Levis is getting to ride the aluminum pine and sit in favor of Mason Rudolph. I believe it was a healthy decision. It wasn't like an injury decision. Mason Rudolph comes out there, and the Titans just consistently look like dog shit. And Tennessee is a team where it's like they have the players, like the defense isn't terrible. They have Calvin Ridley and fucking
30-year-old Calvin
Ridley. They have
Ridley.
Calvin Ridley and Trey Burks and D Hop, and I'm not saying that they're world beaters or that they're a divisional champion, but I think they're a lot better on paper than 1-5. But for whatever reason it is, maybe it's just a quarterbacking situation. I know Taylor Lewan was saying, he said with his time with Tennessee, it's like even if the quarterback wasn't playing well or if they weren't winning one-on-one matchups on the outside, you always knew you could turn around and hand it to Derek and they could still just have that confidence of having one thing to lean on, being the running game. And right now Tennessee has none of that. So what happens this morning, right as soon as everyone's talking about, more potential receivers being on the move, Cooper Kupp was a big favorite. Everyone's talking about Kupp getting moved. Mike Dubb with the Jets, people are talking about him getting moved. People are talking about D-Hop getting moved. Well, this morning D-Hop was moved to the two-time defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs for a conditional fifth. That could become a fourth. I don't know what the conditions are to make it a fourth. I think it's a great move for both parties. I think D-Hop instantly, obviously we're at a point now where most guys play with Mahomes and he's going to be the best quarterback he ever played with. But D-Hop is probably a Hall of Famer, close to a Hall of Famer, who played with a collection of bums and Deshaun Watson his entire career. He had a couple of years with Kyler. He had a couple of years with Deshaun Watson. Spent a lot of his career with bums.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. Those Kyler years, those were kind of lit,
Yeah, he had some
The first year that he was fully healthy, he had a top 5 year.
No, that's the problem, is the health issue is, how many games is D-Hop going to play? This is my advice as a gambling podcast, right? I could be wrong. It's why it's gambling. Do not, I repeat, do not go out there on Sunday and smash DeAndre Hopkins overs. Because you're going to make the book a lot of money.
I would think the lottery ticket would be an anytime touchdown, but to be honest, the way the book's going to look at it, hold on, let me cook. It's going to be under plus 200 odds. It's not going to be a fucking... You're not getting a cash cow
especially this week. Who knows what's going to happen this week. But he's not going to come and be this 7, 8, 9, 10 catch a game guy, 100-yard a game guy. He's going to make 2 or 3 plays a game that are going to change the course of the game for them. Other thing I'll say is everyone's saying that DeAndre Hopkins is like a 50-50 guy and a go-get-it on the outside jump ball guy. Yeah, he's very good at that, but that's not the case. Like, obviously, you're not...
He used to not be.
Yeah.
He used to be a great route runner.
It's not the case. Like, he's not just this 50-50 jump ball guy that'll go win some battles on the perimeter. Like, you're obviously, and I'm not going to blame anybody for this, but you're obviously not watching many Tennessee Titans games or much snaps from Tennessee Titans offense. Because DeAndre Hopkins is still getting open over the middle of the field, and he can still be a little bit of a yak guy. I'm concerned with the injuries, obviously. I don't think he's going to show up and all of a sudden become Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce. But I do think the Chiefs got better for the short term by going and getting him.
I think it's an A+ move for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
I think learning
100%.
under Duke Hopkins.
Here's what's interesting to me about the whole thing, right? Last week we covered this, how Devontae Adams gets traded to the Jets, and then a few hours later Amari Cooper gets traded to the Bills, right? One Chiefs insider, because the Chiefs, for weeks, Chiefs fans have been talking about the Chiefs need to go get a receiver, they need to go get a receiver, they need to go get a receiver. They were never on the list for Devontae Adams.
I saw something that had him on the list, but...
Devontae said they were never on the list.
Well.
Who knows? But they were never really serious contenders for Devontae Adams. And then when Amari Cooper gets traded, I see a Chiefs insider that comes out and says, Amari Cooper's 30 years old. They were never going to do that. So the word on the street was they weren't interested in trading for a 30-year-old wide receiver. So then they go out and get 33-year-old DeAndre Hopkins, which that's the part that's confusing to me. But I think overall, I think it's an A-plus move for all three parties involved. I think D-Hop gets to go vie for the playoffs and the only remaining undefeated team in the NFL and probably play in another Super Bowl. Bare minimum, he's playing in a divisional round game. Patrick Mahomes gets some help. The Chiefs get a little shot in the arm. Juju Smith-Schuster also just went down, so they're looking thinner and thinner at wide receiver by the day. And the Titans get some draft capital for a team that they might not win 2 or 3 more games the rest of the year. They get some draft capital for a guy who probably would have left or retired at the end of the season anyway. So I think overall we got A's across the board as far as grading the trade goes. Cooper Kupp, allegedly available still. Mike Williams, allegedly available still. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a team that should be in the market for a receiver. Chris Godwin, I feel bad for him. And by the way, if you're one of these guys where, look, I get it. Sports in general have changed. So if you're someone that's like a Gen Xer or a baby boomer and there's no loyalty anymore, this and fucking that, like you're under contract, go play. Chris Godwin was holding out in a contract year, wanted to get paid. They wouldn't play him. He shows up and plays anyway. And what happens to Chris Godwin? 41 seconds left in a 2-possession game that they have already lost. His fucking feet are facing the opposite directions. He dislocates his ankle in a contract year. He was fantasy wide receiver 2 or 3 at this point. He had 575 receiving yards. Don't know how, second in the NFL in receiving yards. I think top 10 in catches, and I forget how many touchdowns he had. He was on his way to getting paid in a big way, and he put himself on the line, and what happens? He gets carted off the field in a fucking air cast, and he doesn't cry, he doesn't mope, he doesn't make a scene about anything. You know what he said? Back to work, John. He looked to the trainer and said, back to work, John. Shook his head. That's a guy I want on my team. My opinion is Chris Godwin's already re-signed with the Bucs based on the way I saw him fucking act out there. But this is why I will never blame players for wanting to get paid. I will never blame a player in a league, in the National Football League, which the old adage is the NFL stands for what? Not for long. The average career of an NFL player is 3.5 seasons. You need to get four full years of service to be eligible for the benefits program through the NFLPA. So you could play just shy of 4 years, be fucked up for life, and get no pension, no health insurance from the NFL. These guys can treat you like a fucking machine. The teams and the managers and the owners basically can just treat you like a fucking, like you're not even a human, like you're just a you're just a cog in the machine to them. They don't really even give a fuck about you, and they'll cut you even if you have 2 years and $45 million left on your contract, but there's no guaranteed money. They'll just, sorry pal, thanks for what you did for me back then, but go fuck yourself now. And that's okay when the teams and the owners do it, but we have a big fucking problem. Big problem if players want to look out for them and their family. And I used to feel a certain type of way about this when I was younger. I don't anymore. I think every player should go out and get what's theirs and protect them and their family and their financial future. You want to say, oh, these guys are multimillionaires, da da da. Yeah, some of them are. Some of them aren't. You come out, if you're making $2 million a year, you pay your agent fees, everyone in your families, hey, what about me, what about me, what about me? That money dries up fast. And then we got a lot of guys that wind up fucking working at Home Depot that had a cup of coffee in the league or played 3 or 4 years in the league and then blew out their Achilles and, it never worked out for them. And they don't even get that financial security. And one day they might wind up with CTE and, can't even play with their grandkids. So stop with the bitching when players want to get paid, especially good ones that help your football team win, because now look at what happened to a guy like Chris Godwin. What I will say, because I know I've hammered it at home repeatedly this season, everything I just said does not apply to Hassan Reddick. Because Hassan Reddick knew what the deal was. Before they made the trade, it was agreed upon that this is what the deal was. And then he said, yeah, sure, they made the trade, and then he went back on everything else that he had to say. But yeah, in general, I have no problem with players wanting to get paid. So anyway, Mike Evans, his hamstring's like tenderized short ribs right now. He's getting an MRI, I believe. Today he got one, or tomorrow he's getting one to determine the severity of the injury. He's out for at least 3 to 4 games. The next month, no Mike Evans. Godwin, they say maybe the surgery wasn't as invasive as they needed it to be, and maybe who knows how long their season lasts. Maybe if they make a deep run, he might come back. My opinion, he's out for the year. So now you got a team. Their number one target is Cade Otton,
who, by the way, isn't bad.
No, he's a good tight end. But Cade Otton, and then what do they got at receivers? Tyler Johnson still on that team?
Nope.
No, I don't even know who their receivers are anymore.
Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard, and there's another guy. Sean Tucker. Not Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker's a running back, but yeah.
There's another receiver who's in there who's weird. He's like a weird number.
If I'm the Bucks, I'm calling about a Mike Dubb. I'm calling about a Cooper Kupp.
I was going to say, I'm not calling about Cooper Kupp, but I'll call about Mike Dubb.
I'm definitely calling about Mike Dubb, and I would probably consider calling. Bro, they were in that game. They were competing in that football game against the Baltimore Ravens, who were
Yeah, but what are you giving up for Cooper Kupp? More than you want to give up?
Probably not.
Not at this point.
Fourth, that could become a third.
I don't think for Cooper Kupp.
I would.
I don't know. I don't see it.
So yeah, that's my opinion on what's been going on in the league. I watched the Jets game. As you guys know, I was in Vegas this weekend, so...
Big Vegas weekend.
Big Vegas weekend. Shout out When We Were Young Festival.
Shout out Heaters, bro.
Yeah, ripped 2 packs of nails while I was there. Came out of SIG retirement for the weekend.
How did it feel?
It was pretty lit.
Did you realize that? Did it feel like...
I knew as soon as I lit the first one that I wasn't going to come home and start smoking again.
That's good. That's good.
I knew I wasn't going to go back to being a regular cigarette smoker. And even Alessino looked at me. He's like, what, are we just back on cigs now? And I said, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're going to rip nails.
Hell yeah.
We're going to rip nails. We're going to suck down Double Tito's lemonades all day. Had a little brownout scenario going on.
Yeah, but you got back.
Went to go see one of my favorite bands ever and don't remember any of their set. But the rest of the day I remember pretty well. We had a good time.
It was a shitty time coming to get you.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? But yeah,
Not bad again.
Vegas was cool. Did not do well in the casinos, but made back almost all of the money that I gambled away in the casino on a college football parlay. Tennessee money line, Colorado money line.
That weekend?
Yeah.
No, you broke even.
No, didn't break even. Made back most of what I lost.
Okay, you came down a little compared to a lot. You came back. You came down.
I
a little.
came home with money. I didn't come home broke, and that's really what all that matters. Shout out August Burns Red, in my opinion, gave me the performance of the day. Devil Wears Prada, close second. Really enjoyed Silverstein, and gotta give out a shout out to Simple Plan for playing What's New Scooby Doo.
The best pop punk song ever made.
So that was a sick time. Should we guess lines?
Let's guess the lines.
All right. Do you have lines? Get them.
I got lines.
Like the real lines?
Well, I've got my lines. Let's see what the score has to say. All right, you know what? We'll swing on over to DraftKings. It's gonna be a big DraftKings winter. I'll tell you that much. Now that we're a year in now to legal sports gambling in New York. It's a year or 2 years?
2 years, two or three.
I don't think it's longer than 2.
It's at least 2.
But definitely going to be a busy winter this year. Let's start Thursday night.
Minnesota at LA. I have the Vikings minus 3.5.
I had the Rams minus 4 because Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford are playing. Guess not. The Vikings are 2.5 favorites.
Cool. Yeah, I like the Vikings in this game. I know the Dan Campbell effect hangover is real, but I like the Vikings. I have next the New York Jets at the New England Patriots.
I gotta find mine.
Go
ahead.
I have the New York Jets minus 6.5.
I have the Jets minus 2. They get 0 respect from me at this point. And the spread is minus 7.
Yeah. I get that, but New England is dog shit.
16 points against one of the worst teams in the NFL isn't dog shit if you ask me.
You calling the Steelers one of the worst teams in the NFL?
I'm talking about the Jaguars. The fucking 1-6 Jaguar, 2-5. 2-5 Jaguars. I'm not talking about The Jets.
I think New England is dog shit, and it's even worse that you have Gerard Mayo coming out and saying that he was left with a talentless roster the other day. I think the writing's on the wall in New England. It's going to be a long year or two for them.
I mean, Drake May looks good, though. We'll see what happens.
This has got to be a backs against the walls game for the New York Jets. And I think that matters to Vegas.
And to be honest with you, that doesn't do anything for me as a Jets fan. I see nothing but disappointment.
Okay.
But that's how I feel.
Welcome to New York Jets fandom. Tennessee Titans at Detroit.
Oh, how do you feel about this one?
I have Detroit -8.
I'm trying to find Lions on my thing here. There we go. I was close. I had 10.5. Spread's 11.
Okay.
It was very close. I was like, I feel like this is a high spread.
Went
because
a little low.
Is Mason Rudolph starting, or are they switching it back?
I don't know.
All right, well, give me your next game here.
Green Bay Packers at Jacksonville. I have the Cheeseheads -5.5.
I have the Cheeseheads -2, and the spread is... Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I have the Cheeseheads -2. The spread is -4. So you beat me by half.
By half of a point. Wow.
This fucking guy.
Arizona Cardinals at Miami.
See, now this is a game I was excited to guess the spread. And I was let down entirely. Go ahead. What do you got?
I got Arizona -4.5.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it. Not having these guess the line sheets sucks.
Yeah.
I had the Cardinals -6.5. Swing that shit around. It's Miami -3.5. Cause
I'm giving no one points.
Tua is playing.
Is he playing?
Apparently.
I thought
Hold
it was
on.
still Snoop Huntley.
Hold on. Uno momento, por favor. Because he is on the waiver wire here. So let's get the injury report. Still on the IR in terms of fantasy football, but that means nothing. Limited participant at practice. Designated for return from injured reserve earlier Wednesday. Expect him to clear concussion protocol before Sunday's game against Arizona.
Okay. If he doesn't play, there's just simply no way Arizona should be underdogs. I'm giving none of us a point for that one, though, if that's okay with you.
That's completely okay with me because I still think that 3.5 is too high for Tua coming off of
Even if
what should be a
yeah.
career-ending concussion and a team that
Even if Tua comes back, I think 3.5 is too high.
Yep, I agree. Give me your next game.
Baltimore Ravens at Cleveland. So a little couple of things of note here. Jameis Winston will be getting the start, and Kevin Stefanski will be stepping down as the play caller. Will be giving those duties over to offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey, who we've seen come up with good game plans in the past, coordinating the attack in Buffalo. Ravens are a top 3 team in the NFL right now,
They always are in the regular season.
led by the new front runner for MVP. And I'll say this, I was wrong about Derrick Henry. We'll see how the second half of the season goes. But through 7 games, I was very much wrong about Derrick Henry. The dude looks 23 years old out there, running roughshod on the league. I got Baltimore -10.
Wow. I had Baltimore -7.5. The spread is 8.5.
Wow. Okay. Good for you.
I feel like that was a little high, especially for that. Here's the thing. Use the test to take the test. What's the one thing every year, every week, every fucking time we do guess the lines? What do I say about the Browns? They get too much fucking respect because of the defense.
Yeah.
And that's how Vegas thinks about it. And you know what? Their defense is fucking piss poor, if you ask me.
The whole team, it's a terrible operation in Cleveland right now.
Staten Island.
By the way,
fucking
I
dumb.
can't believe that we forgot to talk about this, so I'll just be quick with it. I know Deshaun Watson's a dog shit person. I know he's had 22 allegations and 22 settlements on sexual assault. I think the cheering of the blown Achilles was a little much. I do think that. I think that the fans cheering for him to be carted off was a lot. But I also think Jameis Winston and Myles Garrett's defense of him was also a little much. Like, Myles Garrett came out and said, this is a guy who's mostly been a stand-up citizen. Cool, mostly. But it doesn't matter what you did mostly if you're sexually assaulting 22 different women. But I'll be quick about it because we're going over here now. I believe that the Cleveland Brown fans weren't necessarily cheering the injury of the person, Deshaun Watson.
I believe the Cleveland Browns fans, who are a passionate, tortured, miserable fan base, were cheering the fact that the worst quarterback statistically in the NFL is no longer playing quarterback for them. I get it. I don't like cheering for injuries, but I also think Deshaun Watson's a dog shit person, so it's a tough situation.
I mean, listen, bro, it's an evil world we live in. There's no way I believe in what you just told me. So, that being said,
a point for that?
For what?
For the
You gotta give me
Baltimore game?
how
many did
games?
you win?
How many games have we guessed? Go down your list.
I beat you on Green Bay. Did I beat you on Detroit?
No, I won on Detroit.
I won on the Jets. I won on the Vikings.
Yep.
Then it's 3-2. You got your point.
But my quick.
Go ahead.
I mean, listen, it's Deshaun Watson, statistically worst quarterback in the NFL. Chanting "You deserve it."
That was fake.
That was fake. Really?
I'm pretty sure they debunked the "you deserve it" shit. I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, here's the point, bro. You play in Cleveland, Ohio, the shittiest city in North America.
Definitely
okay?
the shittiest.
The
city on the
shittiest
East
of all.
Coast.
They made a song about how shitty it is, dude. Cleveland. Yeah. LeBron James is their savior, dude. Now he's gone. He's in L.A. playing with Bronny, which, by the way, leads to another tiny interjection. Did you see the fucking TNT stat sheet thing?
No, I turned the TV on.
Oh, dude. It was like Anthony Davis, whatever, field goal percentage, shooting like an advanced metric or whatever. LeBron advanced metric. Bronny, underneath AD and LeBron, played 3 minutes. I was like, nah, this is...
And you see that cheesy ass 2K My Player scene where LeBron's like, "You ready?" And he's like, "Yup."
Yeah.
Whatever. Fucking Philly at Cincinnati. I have Philly -3.
I have zero respect for Philly and anything that they do, and that doesn't affect my... I mean, it affects it, but like on an NFL level, I had the Bengals -3. I'm trying to find the spreads, being a pain in the ass. It's the Bengals -2. Let's fucking go! Use the test to take the test, baby.
Bengals -2, huh?
I had a feeling the Eagles can't go on the road and be a favorite.
It's all tied up. Indianapolis Colts at Houston. I have the Texans -2.5.
I have the Texans -4, and the spread is -5.
There you go.
Hell yeah. Feeling a heater.
Dirty Birds at Tampa Bay. Obviously, we just highlighted all of Tampa Bay's trials and tribulations, but they are still running the shit out of the football. So with that being said, I'll take the Dirty Birds -2.5.
I had the Dirty Birds -2, and Jimmy hits a bing bong first of today
Let's
at
go.
2.5.
You took a lead, and now I'm right back on top, baby.
Oh, jeez.
New Orleans at Los Angeles playing the Chargers, and I have the Chargers -1.5.
I just feel like that's too low. Because New Orleans sucks dick. Hold on. Did I cook here? I didn't cook everything, but I have the Chargers -6, and the spread is Chargers -7.
Wow.
I didn't want to give them a cool touchdown, but you know
Okay.
what? The Chargers have been... they've been putting in the business,
Chargers
dude.
fucking lost to Arizona last week. They scored 15 points on 5 field goals.
Oh, yeah, before that, they were putting in business all the way up until last week. They played a real team, dude. It happens. It happens to a lot of these teams in the NFL, like the Dolphins and the fucking Saints, you know? All right, what do you got next?
Buffalo Bills at Seattle. I was going to say Qualcomm Stadium, but I don't even know if that's what it's still called.
Kumquat Stadium?
Qualcomm.
Oh, reverse that.
Buffalo.
Comqual. Anyway,
Buffalo -5.5.
I have Buffalo -3.5, and the spread is -3. Feeling good, Jim. Feeling good.
Oh, fuck. All right, I had to come back to this one because we never found out if Jaden Daniels
I'll
was
let you
playing.
live guess it. Hold on. I'll check if hold on. I'll check if Jaden Daniels. I'm saying Jaden Daniels, bro. Red leather, yellow leather. Unique, New York. All right, we're good.
The quick brown fox jumped. Is Jaden Daniels playing or not?
I'm looking. Questionable as per the injury report. Will not practice on Wednesday because of the rib injury that kept him out. Status for week 8 is very much up in the air.
I've heard everything I need to hear. The Bears -3.5.
Well, I have the Bears -2, and let's see what the book has. It's the Bears -2.5. Is that a bing bong?
No, you had 2. You said
What did you have?
3.5.
Oh.
You're up by 2. There's 4 games left. Kansas City Chiefs going to Vegas to play the Raiders. Chiefs minus 7.5.
I'm pissed. I have Chiefs minus 7, and it's minus 10.
God damn, dude.
That's fucking... You're giving the Chiefs 10 on
The
the
Raiders-
road
the Raiders
against the Raiders.
The Raiders are dog shit.
But you're fucking giving... Hold on. Who did we just look at that was ridiculous? You're giving the Chargers 7 after losing to the Cardinals?
Yeah, it's a little weird. I don't know if the D-Hop factor matters there or not.
Probably.
3 more games left. I'm down by 1 point. Carolina Panthers, who are reinserting Bryce Young into the starting lineup. I believe because Dalton's hurt. At Denver. Denver minus 3.
Denver minus 3. I have Denver minus 5.5 because Bryce Young is starting. And the spread's minus 10.
Denver's favored by 10? Good God, man.
So smash plus 10 for the Panthers. Actually, no. Don't bet on the game at all. Don't stay away. Yeah, look.
I believe you. That's fucking crazy. 10 for 2 dog shit teams. Bo Picks is going to beat any
Bo Pigs, baby.
He's going to beat any team in the NFL by 10.
Bo Picks for 6, dude. Either way. Don't matter.
Sunday Night Football. Dallas Cowboys at San Francisco 49ers. Give me the home team minus 3.5.
You fucking had to do that to me? I had the home team minus 5.5, and the spread is minus 4.
Oh, it's minus 4?
Yeah.
All right. A bing bong for the win.
A bing bong wins.
A bing bong for me. Any points for you wins. I'm down by 1.
You're down 1, so a point for you ties, and then we have to go.
A point for me ties, and then we have to go to an over.
I haven't been looking at over-unders, so
you.
We can guess that.
I trust you. Big Blue, the G-Men, going to Pittsburgh to take on Mr. Unlimited.
All right, fucking relax with that, bro. Steel City, let's ride.
Steelers, minus 3.5.
Oh, you won't be walking away with this one today, Jim. Hate to say it. I got the Steelers minus 5.5. Steelers are minus 6.5.
Damn right, good for you. Got to win.
Good win. Feels good. A weird week to be on the spreads, but I feel like now that, after I said it last week, that we're coming down to earth with Vegas, I feel like we're definitely going to have a better grip, or at least I will, because last year where I excelled at guess the lines, it was definitely towards this back half of the year because I was starting to get a better feel for how teams are scoring, who they're beating. You know, we're getting past the early bye weeks at this point. It's almost the trade deadline. It's kind of funny how fast this shit slips away from you, Jim, ain't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Already at the fucking trade deadline.
Yeah.
But speaking, my one last thing on trades, when we were talking about the Buccaneers earlier, Buccaneers have 3 running backs. And to be honest, I do like a 3-headed monster committee in the situation that you're in.
Well, yeah, and it's also like, it reminds me a lot of that 2006, 2007 Giants team with Earth, Wind,
and Fire. But it isn't exactly Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Not exactly,
You
but
got-
Bucky Irving gives you the power. Rashad White gives you a
Coming out of the
a
backfield.
little bit of the fucking sizzle. And then Sean Tucker.
Yep.
Sean Tucker, you know, he's your receiving threat coming out of the backfield.
Rashad White had 7 catches.
Yeah, I know he did.
Sean Tucker, I don't think, had more than 3 targets. He was a backup kind of deal, but he was in the rotation nonetheless. Kind of like a Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, kind of like that.
While I was watching the game, I was texting Brian, and I was like, one thing about me is I will always root for Oregon Ducks, except for Bo Nix.
Is it Bucky Irving?
Yeah,
he's a Duck.
Yeah.
Where'd Rashad White come from?
Shit if I know.
My guess is Illinois, but
Shit if I know where Rashad White played college ball. I have no clue. But, yeah, it's crazy. Oregon just keeps turning out running backs down.
But fucking everybody's churning out their skill players now. We'll always know where Ashton Genty came from, dude.
Ashton Genty,
Putting fucking Boise State on the
I
map.
think, is the new Heisman favorite. Well, it's crazy. You look at like the string of running backs that come out of Boise State. It's him, and then Doug Martin came out of Boise State. and I forget there was one more. You laugh at it. He was RB2. He had a few years where he was a legit fucking running back, legit fantasy powerhouse, like top 5 fantasy pick for.
Yeah, but nobody will ever talk about
And then I
CMC
forget.
the way they used to talk about him.
CMC.
Yeah, dude, guaranteed 20 every game.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening anymore, but that is what it is. Let's do Thursday Night Football. I'm gonna be quick about it this week because it is what it is.
We got a bagger. I think we do.
What's the over/under in this game?
Bringing it up for you. 48. I feel like an over is definitely in play here, especially Cooper Kupp coming back, Vikings firing on all cylinders.
I like over 48.
Apparently Hawkinson might be playing this week.
I like over 48 for sure, but here's the Jimmy Hawkins Thursday Night Football same game parlay. You ready to get me the odds?
Yeah, sure.
Vikes -2.
It's coming in. Hold on. It's 2.5 now.
Okay, that's fine. Vikes -2.5. Jordan Addison anytime touchdown.
Jordan Addison. Okay. Okay.
Sam Darnold over 1.5 touchdowns.
Plus 500.
I'll take that. Was the over/under on passing touchdowns 1.5 or was it 2.5?
It was 1.5.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just put it to 2 plus.
Yeah, same thing. Whatever. That's my action.
Well, now
I
that we're looking at the book, but go
I
ahead.
personally stay away from Cooper Kupp on props. It's just the way it is.
Well, it's funny because 3 players in this game are minus odds to score a touchdown.
And he's one of them.
No, that's Kyron, Aaron Jones, Jettas, and then Kupp is at plus 110.
What was Jordan Addison?
Plus 195, and behind him is TJ Hawkinson at 200. So Hawkinson might be playing.
So we got Hawkinson at similar odds to Addison, who hasn't seen the field yet in well over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp, who hasn't seen the field all year, better odds than Addison. And then Jetta and the running backs, I'll deal with that. But as far as bang for your buck within that little window of guys within -200 to +200, I think Addison is the best bang for the buck on it.
I mean, if you want to get silly, if the Rams really get down there and they just kind of punch it in, so you can't even really get silly with this one, huh?
No, you know how you can get silly with it? Tutu Atwell.
You could. I was going to say Colby Parkinson.
Yeah, but Tutu Atwell gets those fly sweeps in the red zone. They find gimmicky
DeMarcus
ways.
Robinson.
Yeah, but DeMarcus Robinson.
He finds a way to score.
DeMarcus Robinson is a deep ball. Is a 9. He's 9s and fades. You know, he does find ways to score. I like DeMarcus Robinson, but I think there's more ways creative ways they find to get Tutu Atwell the ball. Tutu Atwell is not the size of DeMarcus Robinson, obviously at 6'4", but he is probably just as threatening as a deep ball guy as DeMarcus Robinson is.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not giving DeMarcus Robinson fly sweeps inside the 5-yard line. You know, they find ways they line him up in the backfield, they line him up in the slot, they find creative ways to get him the ball. So I'll always, as long as Puka's still out, I'll always like Tutu to score.
I like that. I'm just going straight up. What are the Vikings undefeated or they lost last
No,
week?
they lost to the Lions.
To the Lions.
That's what I'm saying. The Dan Campbell hangover. There's a lot of stats to prove that.
I think I'm just gonna ride
a
on the
team
Rams.
has covered. You're gonna ride the Rams?
I think I'm gonna ride on the Rams.
I don't think a team has covered in the last 9 games the week after they played the Lions.
Wow.
Going back to last year. But
Must be tough dealing with Sonic and Knuckles, dude. Must be tough.
those ankle biters in Detroit. So yeah, that's what I like that, and this should be a fun one.
Definitely.
I think it's I'll be here tomorrow night. I don't know, you working?
No, I got training earlier in the day, but
All right, I think I'll be because I'm gonna stay here tomorrow night because I'm going to the city when I'm done. But
gotcha.
this has got nothing to do with the show, but we've been talking about this for a few weeks now. Next week.
Next week.
Halloween night.
Halloween night.
Thursday
A spooky one, if you will.
Thursday Night Football.
Quite the spooky
The
one.
New York Jets.
The New York Football Jets.
In Jet Life Stadium.
In Jet Life Stadium.
Are we going?
Are we going?
Mike Cervedio wants to go with us.
Mike Sir wants to go with us?
Yeah.
I have a feeling we can make this work. Yeah.
Yeah. Get-in price is like $50.
Yeah, we can make this work.
So it'll probably wind up being like 70 after taxes and fees, and then we gotta pay for parking. But
Yeah, we can make this work.
all right, let's do it then.
Let's do it.
I'll talk to Mike tomorrow. We'll get tickets.
Friend of the show, friend of. God bless. God bless. Mike Cervetia.
Mike, sir. All right. Anything else?
I mean, I think we can wrap this one up. You know, it's the juicy part of this week is definitely in the gambling half. So,
Brought to you by House of Havoc Podcasting, Stay Thirsty Company, Justin Shops, Upper West End of the Beach, and Center Riches, and Daniel Skate Park. Peace out.
stay tuned.